In this video, we're going to touch on the topic of adding sheets. You've built your Revit model, you've added notes and annotations, and even added a detail or two. Now it's time to prepare your file for final output. The most common way to output a file in Revit or any other program is to simply print it. You can certainly print directly from any you happen to be in on screen, and you can even plot several views at one time. However, the more professional way to print and the most typical way to print in architectural projects is to prepare a set of sheets. So in this video, we are going to look at the creation of sheets, and I am in a file called adding sheets for this purpose. Now we can scroll down to the sheets portion here and expand on it to see that we have an array of plans that has been currently set up already in these areas here. So for example, we can click on now this sheet called A1 floor plans and open it up. As you can see, this floor plans here consist of levels 1 and 2, and it has kept up with the changes so far. Now I want to bring your attention to level 2 and these areas here, which are the section markers here and here. Now if you notice, the text here says 1 on top and then A6 below, 2 on top and then A6 below. So essentially what it's trying to communicate to us is this is drawing tag number 1, and this drawing exists on drawing sheet A6. This is drawing tag number 2 or detail number 2 in the drawing sheet, and it is referring to, and you can find this tag in drawing A6. So let's take a look and open up sheet A6 here, and we will be able to see the two detailed sections here with detail marks 1 as well as detail marks 2 down here. So right now, for example, if we wish to add another section to some of these areas here, like for example, I'm going to select section at stair, and the way to add these sections into the sheet will be simply to just drag and drop it in here like this. And as you can see, the section has now been added in this way. And also, when we zoom in here, you will be able to see that Revit will automatically add a new detail tag number inside the drawing sheet. And when this part is done, we will go back to our main floor plan here and zoom in to take a look. You will find that now what used to be something that looks like this, which is all blank, will now have the information of the drawing detail tag number and the drawing sheet updated. Now for some reason, if there is a need for us to change the detail tag number here, so what's going to happen is we will need to do the following. Like for example, if at the moment the configuration is 1, 2, 3, but in this case, for example, if it needs to become then 2, 3, 4, then what we'll need to do is we will need to click on the tag here and then change this detail number to another number that is not existent inside this sheet. For example, number 4 first. And then with this, we will then be able to change it to, let's say, from 2 to now 3. and then 1 to now 2 itself, like this. And now after we have done this, if we go back to now the A1 sheet plans again, so if we were to zoom in here, you will now be able to see that the tag numbers will now be updated as well to 2, 3, and 4, this way. Next, I'm going to show you how to add new sheets itself. This function is commonly used when we need to add new drawing sheets to things, or to the whole set of document, or the whole set of drawing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Sheets, right click, and click on New Sheet. So with this, we can see down here there will be an array of title blocks preloaded already. And if we need to, let's say, set up a big A1 title block, we will just select this one and click OK. And there you go, we will have a new sheet of drawing being set up here. Now, if you look under here also though, the number will tend to continue from the last number that was created for the sheets. So if we last ended the sheets at A13, and then when we create a new sheet here, it will start off at A14 itself. So again, depending on what we want to use it for, we may need to rename them. So I'm going to show you an example how it is done. So I'm going to right click here and click on rename. And when we click on rename here, we can change it to another identification number for the drawings. So in this case, I'm going to try to put in, let's say, ID 400, for example. And I'm going to, let's say, change it to detail drawing. And click OK. This way. Inside the title block area here, you will be able to see that the moment we rename them, we rename the sheet, the similar information here will be propagated to the drawing number here, and also the title of the drawing will also be displayed here as well. And a whole lot of other information here can be also controlled by Manage Project Information here. So for example, if we were to add some information here as well, things will begin to change. So I'm just going to change it a little bit. So I'm going to call it, let's say, small office building amended. And OK. Do you notice now that the project description has now been updated as well? And this will be propagated across all other drawing sheets as well. If you look at this here, so similar things will happen and the similar information will be updated also this way. On top of being able to rename the files or rename the drawing sheets from here, we are also able to make changes to it directly here as well. So like for example, if I were to double click on this, I can perhaps change this one to, let's say, P1. To, let's say, change it from detailed drawing to power plan here. Some of these changes are made locally, and some of these, like the big project descriptions and all that, are made globally. So when you make a change to some of these areas here, like project information, the change will be global, that will affect all the other sheets in the drawing set. Whereas some of these items here, like drawing title, drawing number, and even checker, for example, are not global. They are local in this case. On top of the drag and drop method to place the drawings into the drawing sheets, there is another way to do this as well. So we can go to View, and then we go to, under the Sheets composition portion in the View tab, we can also click on View in order to be able to drag in order to be able to add the plan to the sheet. So we're going to click on floor plan level 1 power, and we're going to click on add view to sheet this way, and we will be able to drop it in also like that. Okay, let's do one more thing. We can prepare a content page, a drawing sheet schedule, sort of like a content page for the whole set of drawing that is inside this whole document. So what's going to happen is we are going to go to under view, under schedules, then we can go to sheet list here. The sheet list is very similar to the schedule tables that we have created earlier on in the lessons, but it is sort of like a different schedule that document the number of sheets inside the whole set of drawing itself within the project. So let's try to add a few items like sheet number, sheet name, and issue date, for example, and then we click OK. Notice that when we are done with this, a table will be created and it will be inside the schedules and quantity, and it is actually inside the sheet list here. And once we have this, we can close it and we can go back to, let's say, floor plans here, and then we can click on the sheet list here and drag it in here. Then we can also make changes to the default column widths as well, so that we can see a better layout, or we can format it so that it becomes a little bit neater and easier to read as well this way. And sometimes when the project is very complicated and there are lots of drawings within the whole document set, what we can do is we can look for this little icon down here, then we can click on it and split it into two columns or two sets of tables, in which it will allow us better control over the formatting and the organization of the table. And when we need to put it back, or we need to recombine them into one table itself, we can look for this little move icon here, and we can move it backwards here and rejoin it back again. So adding sheets, it's a pretty simple affair. We can add them with title blocks and fill in the information in those title blocks, and then populate the sheets with various views from our project. That will give us a much more professional set of construction documents, and then we can gather up that collection of sheets for printing. Printing will be the subject of one of our future videos.